This is your High Desert Sports Report, the Victor Valley's only weekly action highlights sports program, covering our area's schools, teams, athletes, and sporting events. Homecoming opponents are traditionally pushovers, but not Adelanto's in 2018. Fountain Valley is ranked in the top 10 of CIF Division 8. The undefeated Barons are favored to snap the Saints' 4-game winning streak. What does first-year coach Gali Wadood hope to see from his Saints?
I hope we just come out with our same intensity that we always have. I would like to start out fast on offense. Hopefully we can score first and get on the board first and control the momentum. We actually have to step up to their intensity tonight. If we can match their intensity, we should be all right.
Fountain Valley interrupts Adelanto's opening possession, picking off the Saints' pass at the Adelanto 33. This is to be a game of an overabundance of penalties. Fountain Valley's initial first down, courtesy of back-to-back encroachment penalties against the Saints. The frequency of flags flying and enormity in the number of penalties enough to make one's head spin. The Barons' opening drive set back when their pass receiver is called for hurdling. A leading with the helmet penalty against Adelanto advances Fountain Valley to the Saints' 16. On 4th and short at the 9, the high snap sails through the Baron player's hand. Hosea Stokes, with his first enormous play of the night, scoops it up in full stride at the 20 and sprints 80 yards to score. Adelanto had sealed their first win of the year on a similar play, a high snap sailing over the Hesperia quarterback's head and a tackle in the end zone for the 2-point safety that closed out scoring in the 3-point win against the Scorpions. Gabriel Perez drills the extra point, and the Saints go on top 7-0, 5.5 minutes into the game. Hosea Stokes halts the second Fountain Valley possession with the pass interception. The Saints offense sets up shop at midfield. They drive 45 yards to a 1st and goal at the 3 before the Barons' goal line defense turns them back. Unable to punch it in or score on the short pass, this Adelanto drive ends with a missed field goal. This is Fountain Valley from their own 36. The scrambling quarterback goes out of bounds. We see a penalty flag fly for a late hit and an early indication of increasing hostilities between Barons and Saints players. That's difficult to regulate. You want to match the opponent's intensity, but that comes at the expense of over-aggressive late hits by your defense. Many flags are thrown this night for leading with the helmet or late hits by players from both sides. Adelanto begins its next possession deep in their own territory. A penalty on Hosea Stokes' punt return has them moved back to their own 17. Marshawn Buchanan carries for 14 yards and a first down. We go to second quarter action. Following an exchange of punts, this Saints drive began at their own 37. 74 is right guard Tyler Raymond. The center, 64, Norman Gomez. Gomez blocks down, and Marshawn Buchanan carries across midfield for a first down. From the 31, Hosea Stokes combines speed with balance, slashing past one Baron defender and eluding the tackle of another near the goal line. Hosea Stokes, a junior, one of Coach Gali Wadood's versatile players who serves as a running back on offense, cornerback on defense, and he runs back punts and kickoffs. The second Hosea Stokes TD is followed by a surge of scoring where 4 touchdowns are scored in the final 5 minutes of the second quarter. Fountain Valley's second TD comes when their defender scoops up a fumble and runs it in. This pulls the Barons within 1. They'll go for 2 on the conversion and fail. 5 minutes before halftime, the Saints' lead has been cut to 14-13. 2 minutes later, Marshawn Buchanan scores from 9 yards out, and Adelanto's lead is back up to 8, 21-13. Marshawn Buchanan finishes with 189 yards on 23 carries. This Hosea Stokes 7-yard run comes with 40 seconds on the clock before intermission, but the Barons add their third second quarter touchdown with 7 seconds to go before halftime. Adelanto's lead is 28-19 at the half. Third quarter scoring is confined to Gabriel Perez's field goal from 21 yards out that gives the Saints a 31-19 lead entering the fourth quarter. The Saints had dodged a bullet 2 plays earlier. Quarterback Jalen Yancey loses the ball near the goal line, but officials rule the defender went helmet to helmet, and what would have been a 95-yard fumble return for a touchdown is nullified. The Saints nearly had another fumble recovery for a touchdown in this third quarter. This is Fountain Valley's trick play, handing off to their right guard. Contact with the turf creates the fumble. Otherwise, it is 6 points Adelanto. This leading with the helmet call against the Fountain Valley tackler precedes Adelanto's win-clinching touchdown. Marshawn Buchanan feels the full impact of helmet-to-helmet contact, stunning the Saints' marquee running back. The 15-yard penalty moves the ball across midfield to the Barons' 40. Very next play, more Hosea Stokes talent on display. Starting off, power sweep left, cutting back and racing the 40 yards to the end zone untouched. In 14 carries this night, 179 yards rushing for Hosea Stokes. The game's final scoring comes with 10.5 minutes still to play. That's plenty of time for some outstanding defensive efforts by the Saints. Fountain Valley's quarterback forced from the pocket and dropped by 250-pound senior Fabian Allen. 2 plays later, it is Nighty Steve Wilson with the sack. We have to rely on the PA announcer to identify this Saints defender, as the Adelanto roster posted on MaxPrep does not list any players with numbers in the 80s nor 90s. Steve Wilson, Nighty. Player number 1 again makes his presence felt. Hosea Stokes with his second pass interception. Versatile and durable, this night he takes a beating and keeps competing. Tyree Meeks, 6, leads kickoff coverage on special teams on this kickoff. The senior linebacker lists at 5'9", 185. Tyree Meeks leads the Saints in tackles this game, 3 solo stops and 8 assists, in addition to 1 forced fumble and another fumble recovery. The final Fountain Valley possession ends with Steve Wilson batting away the 4th down pass attempt. Adelanto has won 5 games in a season for the first time in school history. What factors have turned the Saints program around?
Belief, confidence. I can just get the kids to continue to believe in themselves, the program will continue to turn around. So it's all confidence.
Good luck tonight, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Granite Hills running back Tayshawn Brown scores 4 first-half touchdowns to lead the Cougars to a resounding 68-6 rout of Mark Keppel High School in a somewhat rare Thursday Night Lights version of prep football in the high desert. This 65-yard run is the first Granite Hills touchdown, coming on the Cougars' 3rd play from scrimmage. It is Tayshawn Brown's longest touchdown of the night. The Cougars' 2nd touchdown comes on Tayshawn Brown's 61-yard run on the team's 2nd possession. The returning All-Desert Sky League running back escapes a horse collar tackle and outruns the Aztecs secondary. Tayshawn Brown had 6 rushing touchdowns coming in. He will have 10 by halftime. Tayshawn Brown takes Feliciano Hernandez's handoff and stomps into the end zone for the 2-point conversion that makes it 14-6, 5.5 minutes in. 255-pound sophomore George Garcia, 55, recovers this fumble. The Cougars' offense turns the takeaway into points on the scoreboard. The Granite Hills' 3rd touchdown comes 4 plays later. Watch 56, Nathan Garcia, the lead block. The Cougars' center, 54, blocks down. Tayshawn Brown to the end zone and scores from 17 yards out. Tayshawn Brown is listed at 5'8", 180. Cougars touchdown number 4 comes on their first possession of the second quarter. Feliciano Hernandez pitches it to Dylan McGill on the quick out, and the 5'7", 150-pound junior cuts back past one defender, sprints past a linebacker, cuts once more to the middle to cut the feet out from under the free safety, and Dylan McGill is home free. 61 yards the scoring play. Dylan McGill's second touchdown reception of the year. Tayshawn Brown obliterates Aztecs defenders on the Cougars' next possession, bowling over two members of the Mark Keppel secondary, scoring from 30 yards out. He finishes with 192 yards on just 7 carries. Mark Keppel repeatedly obliges the Cougars, capitulating field position deep in Aztecs territory, but always going for it on fourth down situations, even this 4th and long from their own 8. Only explanation I derive is the Aztecs do not have a center who can long snap to a punter. Kieron Bourne Regis looks to have an interception, but the officials deny the pick. Next play, backup running back Angelo Guy scores the first of his 2 second-quarter touchdowns, skirting the Aztecs defenders and gaining access to the end zone untouched. This made it 40-6. By halftime, Granite Hills had built a 55-6 lead. Angelo Guy will score a 3rd touchdown in the second half. The Cougars' defense was superbly stifling, save the first Mark Keppel possession. The visitors score on their opening drive on this inside counter. The 54-yard touchdown ties the score at 6, 5 minutes in. Granite Hills shuts down the Aztecs the rest of the way in handing their fellow Division 13 team out of Alhambra its 39th consecutive loss.
28.
From this point forward, the Cougars' defense totally dominates. 65 is 6'1", 265-pound junior Matthew Rivera. Watch for the hard hit by 52 Gabe Telez, 5'10", 180-pound senior. 55 is sophomore George Garcia. We already mentioned he is 255 pounds, listed at 6 foot. Elijah Vargas enters this contest, the Cougars' tackles leader on the year. Elijah Vargas, 23, listed at 5'8", 175. The junior linebacker also leads the team in tackles for a loss. He adds another here. Coach Alex Gonzalez and staff has to be pleased with his special teams play. James Rogers kicks off. It is Dylan McGill making the tackle. Dylan McGill, a two-way starter who also excels on special teams. The victory moves Granite Hills to 4-1 on the year. They entered this game ranked 9th in Division 13, the Max Prep USA football poll, 10th in the CIF Division 13 ranking. Coach Alex Gonzalez has one more tune-up for his Cougars before entering Desert Sky League play. That will be Friday, September 21st, against the Excelsior Eagles. Down Home Grill presents these hot-off-the-grill Granite Hills highlights and congratulates Tayshawn Brown for his 4 touchdowns performance. Have dinner on us, Tayshawn Brown. A free meal awaits Tayshawn Brown at Down Home Grill, located on the corner of Bear Valley Road and Ridgecrest Drive in Victorville. Which Hdsr High School team has the nation's #1 quarterback in passing yardage and #1 wide receiver in touchdowns scored? Matt Rohrbaugh's Apple Valley Sun Devils. Apple Valley quarterback Jeff Widener's incredible season continues drawing regional and national media attention. Max Preps USA Football named the Sun Devils senior one of the nation's 8 top performers of the week for his bell game accomplishments, 8 touchdown passes, completing 25 of 35 for 473 yards. The bell game was the second time this season that Jeff Widener threw for 8 touchdowns. The 8 TD passes a game, first accomplished against Silverado, set a new state record. 5 games into his senior season, the 6'3", 205-pound returning all-CIF signal caller has completed 64% of his passes for 1,737 yards and 28 touchdowns. His 1,737 passing yards rank him number 1 in the nation. Jeff Whitener's TD passes have gone to 6 different receivers, led by fellow senior Xander Witt, whose 13 touchdowns place him first in the nation in TDs scored by wide receivers. Xander Witt, a 5'11", 180-pound speedster, averages 26 yards per catch, his 763 receiving yards, 3rd highest in the nation. Xander Witt's 84-yard TD reception against Silverado is a school record. Without a program, fans and defenders have a hard time telling Chad Smith apart from his counterpart, also 5'11" and listed at 185. Chad Smith has caught 8 TD passes and has surpassed 500 receiving yards in 5 games. Apple Valley remains ranked 2nd in the CIF Division 5 poll and Max Prep Football USA poll by only the fate of a season schedule established at the end of last year. We are deprived of a showdown with another high desert team ranked 2nd in their division, the Adelanto Saints. 1 year ago, these teams did meet in a pre-league contest. This season, first-year Saints coach Gali Wadoud has Adelanto undefeated through their first 5 games and ranked 2nd in Division 13. Both the Saints and Sun Devils have no game this week. Adelanto's scheduled opponent, Whittier Christian, reportedly canceled. Both teams enter league play the following week. Adelanto opens Desert Sky League play Thursday, September 27th, hosting the Silverado Hawks. That is an extremely highly anticipated matchup, testing Adelanto's high-powered offense against a Hawks defense that boasts the 2 leading tacklers this season among DSL teams. Nose guard Tequil Obana, 57, averages 8.8 tackles per game. Middle linebacker Tino Mao, 8, averages 8.4. Coach Rafael Genorio's Hawks are chomping at the bit to show they are ready, willing, and able to defend their DSL title after going 1-4 in pre-league play against very high-ranked foes, including Division 4's 4th-ranked Yucaipa Thunderbirds in Week 6. Adelanto has 2 of the top 4 running backs among DSL teams to run at the Hawks. Marshawn Buchanan, 7, has just under 600 rushing yards and averages 13 yards per carry. Hosea Stokes, 1, averages 19 yards per carry. 3 of his 5 rushing TDs came in the Saints' victory over high-ranked Fountain Valley. Adelanto is not the only ranked team among DSL schools. Alex Gonzalez, Granite Hills Cougars are up to 7th in Division 13, same division as Adelanto. Those teams collide in late October in another crucial Desert Sky League pairing. Apple Valley's Mojave River League schedule sends the Sun Devils up against 2 other ranked teams. The first will be Serrano in 3 weeks. The Diamondbacks will enter MRL play ranked 7th in Division 6. The Oak Hills Bulldogs are currently ranked 4th in Division 4. The Sun Devils are at Oak Hills in the MRL finale for both schools. Speaking of rankings, the Hesperia Christian Patriots are ranked number 1 among 8-man teams in this season's first CIF poll listing 8-man schools.
We expect to see a very physical and athletic Silverado team. They fly around to the football. We're going to have to play extremely well disciplined and have to execute that to really have success tonight.
What do you hope to see from your Hawks?
Just coming back from some tough losses. Just want to see us rebound and play hard and play a full ball game, mistake-free ball game. That's what we're looking to do. We believe in ourselves. If we just play our game, we'll be fine.
It is homecoming for the Hawks on a picture-perfect mid-September edition of Friday Night Lights. Game time temperatures in the mid-80s, ideal weather. Coach Rafael Janorio and his staff and Hawks fans hope to see the team turn in a solid performance in their final tune-up for defense of their Desert Sky League title. The pre-league campaign has not gone all that well for the Hawks. They enter 1-4, having dropped contests to high-ranked adversaries that include Apple Valley, second-ranked in Division 5, Serrano, ranked 7th in Division 6, Division 7's sixth-ranked team, Citrus Valley, Division 1's Valencia, Purple and Gold Vikings. The Hawks had lost to those four foes by a total of but 43 points. Tonight, Coach Janorio hopes to upset Division 4's fourth-ranked team, Yucaipa from the Citrus Belt League.
So we're going to play physical. We're very well disciplined, and we create a lot of turnovers. So that's what we're looking forward to tonight.
Yucaipa coach Justin Price is an Apple Valley graduate. He quarterbacked the Sun Devils and went on to become head coach at Granite Hills in 2008 and 2009. Yucaipa sees all the physical and athletic skills and defenders flying to the ball anticipated from the Hawks. And the Thunderbirds create the turnovers that become turning points in the outcome of this contest. It is the Hawks' defense creating the game's first turnover. Aaron Bullock's blocked punt gives Silverado excellent field position in the first quarter. Hawks' advantages include having quarterback Anthony Jackson back, taking snaps. The 6-foot, 170-pound senior signal caller was out the two previous Hawks games due to an injury. Anthony Jackson's 20-yard touchdown pass to Jason Edwards will pull Silverado even in the first quarter after the Thunderbirds scored first. Roman Oliveira's 27-yard field goal puts the Hawks up 10-7 at the 8:46 mark in the second quarter. A second Hawks takeaway. Tamarie Johnson blocks the field goal attempt. Aaron Bullock picks it up at the 40 and sprints 60 yards to pay dirt. The touchdown puts Silverado ahead 17-7 with just over 5 minutes to go before halftime's homecoming festivities. A third Silverado takeaway in the first half. Devin Gandy, 1, recovers the loose ball after the long run by Yucaipa's running back. The Hawks enter the locker room at halftime, holding on to the 17-7 lead. The first half saw relatively few penalties on either team, save the final 3 minutes of the second quarter when play drags to a halt and a lengthy delay precedes halftime. The second half sees an overabundance of penalty flags fly, and mistakes by both teams in the penalty department figure heavily in second half scoring. The visitors come out the third quarter loaded for bear, or in this case, hawk. A 59-yard scoring drive requires only 3 plays. Yucaipa's second touchdown, this 9-yard run by Ronan Theos. The Thunderbirds are within 3, 17-14. Ronan Theos, the 5'10", 195-pound senior, is Yucaipa's leading ground gainer coming in, averaging 5 yards per carry. The next 12.5 minutes, it is all Silverado. The Hawks close down Yucaipa's running game. Gang tackling here includes 52, Kaliopasi Katoa, 6'1", 250-pound sophomore. Continual pressure on quarterback Keo McChesney results in a number of passes knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Tykeal Obana defeating the double team, going up to slap the pass attempt down here. Offensively, Silverado embarks on an 89-yard scoring drive. The Hawks intent on reestablishing the running game. Nicholas Reed Casey carries from the 11 and carries tacklers with him. Nick Reed Casey is Silverado's leading ball carrier and leading scorer as well. 8 rushing touchdowns coming in. Sophomore running back Jawan Howard steps in to alternate with Nick Reed Casey and brings the Hawks deep into Thunderbirds territory. Silverado's hurry-up offense thrown into high gear. The Hawks decide to mix in the passing game and catch a huge break when Yucaipa's defender is flagged for pass interference on the interception in the end zone. 1 second-half penalty figuring heavily into scoring. On the very next play, 280-pound left tackle Nathan Still seals down. Nick Reed-Casey gets wide, cuts back, and goes in standing up. The touchdown from 7 yards out. Silverado goes back up by 10, 24-14, with a minute and a half to go in quarter number 3. As Daily Press scribe Tyler Reynolds reported in his game summary article, the Hawks appear to be cruising when they score on their next possession. Yes, that is Tykeil Obana, 57, in at fullback. Nick Reed-Casey goes wide and scores from a yard out, and the Hawks have built the lead to 17, 31-14, with exactly 9 minutes to go in the ball game. But as Coach Rafael Janorio says to reporter Tyler Reynolds in post-game remarks, a 2-score lead is never safe. Devin Gandy's pass interception appears to apply a strong seal upon a Hawks victory, coming with 8 minutes on the fourth quarter clock. One among many Hawks with an outstanding game individually. This pick, his second takeaway. Devin Gandy had the fumble recovery just before halftime. But then Ukaipa begins doing everything they would need to do to get back into the ball game. The touchdown on the quick out, same play they had scored their first touchdown on. This cuts Silverado's lead to 11, and the deficit is shaved to 9 when the Hawks jump off sides on the point after touchdown attempt. Ukaipa goes for the 2-point conversion, and the score is 31-22 with 4 minutes to play. This pass completion on Silverado's ensuing possession brings up a moment of decision for the Hawks. 4th and 1 near midfield. Punt or go for it? But back-to-back penalties dictate the punt. And Ukaipa gets it back. Keo McChesney sees his receiver getting past his defender, and the 53-yard touchdown pass has Ukaipa within 2, 31-29. Just over 2 minutes remain. Perhaps the biggest single play of the night, Ukaipa's onside kick attempt is recovered by the Thunderbirds. The ball is at the Hawks' 42. Ukaipa coach Justin Price, the ex-high school quarterback, calls the quarterback draw. Keo McChesney carries straight up the middle to a first down at the 20. Another series of Hawks defensive penalties, encroachment penalties, aid this Thunderbirds drive. 1st and goal at the 6 becomes 1st and goal at the 3. Roni Theos powers in, standing up, and Ukaipa has completed the unbelievable come-from-behind rally, going up 35-31 with a minute 20 still to play. Nick Reed-Casey brings the Hawks out near midfield, but Silverado turns it over on a fumble on the next play, and Ukaipa runs out the clock. There are many bright spots, promising aspects amid the disappointing and discouraging outcome. The Hawks show they can move the ball effectively on the ground. Nick Reed-Casey is a big-time threat, combining his speed, balance, and power with a fierce competitive spirit. And the Hawks can move the ball in the air against a quality opponent. They demonstrated this early on, in particular. When Silverado's offense clicks this night, it looks like where Coach Rafael Janorio wants it to be entering league play. The good news, Hawks special teams are game breakers, fierce downfield tacklers, 2 blocked punts this night. The Hawks defense can be domineering. Their problems are solvable. They must diminish or eliminate the mistakes and lack of self-discipline that leads to costly encroachment penalties. And penalties on offense, like the one for holding that nullifies this Juwan Howard touchdown. The Hawks commit costly illegal procedure penalties and delay of game penalties, contributing to the unfavorable outcome of this game. Silverado's first Desert Sky League test does not offer any break in the schedule of high-powered opponents. The Hawks go to Adelanto against the undefeated Saints. Adelanto enters league play ranked 2nd in Division 13. Your High Desert Sports Report is brought to you by Down Home Grill in Victorville on the corner of Bear Valley Road and Ridgecrest Drive. The world-class auctioneers at I-15 Auctions. Bid fast, bid last. I-15 Auctions. Midway Home Solutions in Victorville, providing highest quality home appliances at discount prices for 6 decades. And Ewan Zach Law Firm, trial lawyers for serious problems. And by the Community Table Restaurant in the Holiday Inn in Victorville, supporting high desert teams, athletes, and sports programs. This is your High Desert Sports Report, the Victor Valley's only weekly action highlights sports program, covering our area's schools, teams, athletes, and sporting events.